magic is imagination. We are moving into an age of manifestation. Things become actually less material, more ethereal. The golden dawn is when we awaken to this new station of life. What you think becomes real quicker. Regain our imagination, regain our inner child, and let that inner child out.
My name is Frank Castle, founding member of the music group Heist Click and New York City Neo Shaman. After a serious injury sidelined my career in 2013, I decided to set out on an adventure to search for myself with the help of the plant medicine Ayahuasca. What I discovered waiting for me was something I could have never prepared for. It was time for me to become something more, someone more. It was time I became fearless. In the darkest of nights, gonna let my light shine as my heart beats a rhythm with space and time. When the light starts to shine inside your third eye, you awake to the knowledge that you never die. I'm becoming fearless.
You never know what's gonna happen.
What is up, everyone? It's your main man, Frank Castle, your sorcerer supreme, right here each and every Saturday night on Fearless. What's up, everyone? Shout outs to the Fearless family. This is my co-host and etherical translator. I'd like to introduce her. Her name's Paula Milo.
Hey, everyone.
If you didn't notice, we switched seats. We're trying something new.
Yeah.
So finally, how's the sound, by the way? Sound good? Okay, check it out. So finally, someone else has come out and taken my back when it comes to Paula on the microphone. Just saying.
Look,
not starting nothing.
I'm
just sending love.
I'm trying my best. I think because the mic is so big and it's like literally it's the size of my face. It's just a little intimidating having it in my face.
Right there
like
in
that.
my face. You know, when we no, it's all right. We're sitting on lawn chairs just to let people know. So we're not even at the right height we're supposed to be at anyway. So if we were sitting in like, you know,
regular desk chairs, yeah.
Yeah, we would be chilling. All right. So a couple shout outs.
So Lorene, we love you.
We love you.
The show didn't even start yet. You didn't have to do that.
Where you
Thank
been?
You.
No, I know where you've been. I saw your video in the Fearless family, and
oh my.
Shout outs to you.
Yes.
Brave woman.
I don't know how you're doing it. I don't know how you're doing it at all. I really don't know.
You're awesome. And your place is awesome. Your spot. Tell your husband I said, oh yeah,
he did a great job.
So
great job.
Yeah, for sure. Anyway, so thank you very much.
Yes,
I appreciate that. Also, shout outs to Jenny Miller. I just want to say I have a heart, but look at this one. Bong.
Oh, and the crystal, the selenite. Oh, sorry.
I can't reach.
Well, I look like
go gadget.
It looks like the Fortress of Solitude.
That's exactly. Sorry. Look at that. That's crazy. That's some Superman stuff right there. And
I know.
This heart
beautiful.
Is huge.
And all those other goodies, the soy candles and the soaps.
All right, so
and you know, it's funny because Frank loves that charcoal soap. That's one of his favorites. He loves that.
So this is one of the things I want to say. People are coming into their own, and they're coming forward with the products and you know what they do.
Yeah, what works for them.
What's working for them. And it's beautiful to see when you think to yourself, you know, I want to buy this or I want to do that, or even you hear us and go, I want to make this. And you always wonder like, oh, I got to go here and get this or get. Look, you can support the independent and get such a better product
Oh
than
yeah,
you
small
would.
business. Yeah, we just ordered birthday. Oh yeah, speaking of that,
We're
just
not
ordered...
done. Yeah, no, we're gonna continue.
Oh, you don't want...
No, one thing at a time.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, we're people are beginning to really shine in what they are wanting to accomplish, and we can support each other this way because we're getting a better product this way. It just is a better product. Now, Rianne and Bert, they do oh gosh, I'm gonna forget the name of this.
It's right there. It's in that.
All right. Talk to them real quick.
Oh, I'm allowed to go now. I'm allowed to mention. Teasing.
Earth and Air Shop on Etsy. Yeah. Earth and Air Shop.
This is Bert and Rihanna Schellenberger.
Okay, so they have wands, right? I can't show this.
No. So it's part of the Woodland Wand Creations, and it's the Earth and Air Shop. And I just got a birthday gift for someone. I can't mention it because I don't know if they're listening. And it...
Just say what you got for me instead.
What do you mean what I got for you?
Those were given to me when the shop first opened.
Yeah. When the shop first opened, I ordered a wand for Frank, and I ordered him a smudge.
Yeah.
A smudge stick. Oh, and she sent me a smudge stick, and it's beautiful. Can I have that one?
Oh, it's right there.
That's what she sent me.
Yeah,
you got to do a clearing on it. I mean, it's beautiful. It's beautiful.
Look at... We were
It's
saying
just craftsmanship. Yeah.
Craftsmanship alone, right? It's not just a feather. And I know...
No, it's not. It's the work that goes into it. It's beautiful. And, it's funny because I had ordered a gift and I was so pleased with it. And it was just, we had messaged each other and it was exactly what I wanted to get. And when it arrived, it was exactly what I expected it to look like. And it was perfect. And it was so beautiful that I told Frank I wanted one. And he said, okay, well, your birthday is coming. Pick one out. And I contacted Rihanna, and I think she's making one up for me.
Yes, you're getting yours.
Yeah, I think that's...
it's about time.
I don't have one. So, it's so weird.
People have said, can I just jump over you for a second and grab
I'm
that?
sorry.
No, don't be sorry.
Yeah,
just hold on.
Oh, okay. Take the...
Sorry, everyone. I want to show you guys this stuff because it's important to know. As a shaman, you want the tool for the trade you're in, right? And it's important. It's important to me, right? It's not just new wave stuff. We've talked about it a million times on the show, but we're going to continuously talk about it now that the products are out there. And I want to help all of the independents that are trying to do it, because I'm realizing you get better product straight up. It's the small, independent, and higher frequency. What's up, my man? Yes, they're hypercharged. So here's mine, right? Okay, check this out.
Which one did I get you? I got you that one.
You got me
right?
both
The
of them.
green.
They came
Did
together.
I get you both of them?
Yeah, no, they came together. They were meant to come together, right? This came separately.
No, that I ordered separate. That was a separate gift.
Now here's mine. Now this is an older one. Mine's beat up because I use it like.
I use it all the time.
Yeah. And all right, so I have a rattle as well.
I like the rattle. It's very effective.
Grab the rattle, jump up, grab it. I got it.
I can't even see it. Oh, it's behind the...
Go, Gorilla Frank Alms. Okay. So here's my rattle. Mine's a Navajo, because that's where my stuff's at.
Yeah,
right?
But these specifically came
I'm gonna rock and roll through all of them, and then you as well, because you can explain. The rattle disrupted every time there was like a demonic entity or something harsh in the room that should not be there, like a snake being or something like that, and the rattle instantly grabs their attention away from.
Right.
You could have hissing and screaming and yelling. You start doing that, and they trance out to it, like the Pied Piper. Okay, that's just something I noticed. And then go figure. I go on Etsy and I'm looking, and I literally was like, I wonder, because I'm Navajo, I'm not Cherokee. Everybody wants to be a Cherokee. Everybody wants to be this. I see my lineage, and I'm like, no, this is cool. And I'm looking at this thing, and it has the spiral on it, and I'm going, that's so familiar to me. And I went through 100 of these things, and I read the caption on this one under, like, read more, and I clicked into it, and it just says Navajo, this, that. And I'm like, man, that was me the whole time. It was literally me the whole time. It was perfect.
Right, but the wands and the smudge fans specifically came from Rihanna.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So these are Rihanna's products right here. Yes, sorry about that. Mm-hmm. All right, I don't want to be dummy. Now, when I smudge, you get your smudge, you light it. Instead, you could use a feather, you could use whatever. This also kind of does something to the energy, like re-energizes or tickles the energy. Like, if I did this to you, you'd be like, oh, look what he's doing to Paul. He's trying to be all sexy and stuff. But what is the meaning of this, right? It gets your skin.
Oh, light. Yeah, I think you're just, you're sloughing off your...
Like, but I'm going light on you, so you feel the tingle.
Yeah, you're definitely...
Okay, etherically, you that's why there's a tickle thing, like tickle, right? So, but for the energy purposes, now it's you doing this right through. It's your energy that's activating all these lovely products, right? But they're so helpful up front to charge out in the sun, right? And then bring in the house, and then you're using your consciousness and running it directly through the wands, right? So I have an input and an output. I'll bring energy in, run it through me, hit them with my birthstone. This is like a protection wand, right? Mm-hmm. And this one's like an offensive. This is the August birthstone. I forgot how to say it. I think it's
Peridot.
Yeah. So I literally have stuck this in beings. I was asked, we talked about this on the show. I'm sorry, I'm just rambling out. It's just so much. Where I was asked to go into an arena during one of my ceremonies, and I went in and I was standing there, and I'm like, all right, what's up? And they're like, all right, choose your weapon. Which one do you want? You want a sword? You want a shield? You want a gun? You want a bow and arrow? Like, they showed me all this stuff. And then there was the choice to have nothing, like my fist. I got my dukes, right? And then I saw my wands just sitting there. And I said, and I had tried the sword and I tried the shield, and it just, something not right. Right. And then I'm like, I'm not in a war, so I don't know why I'm in this stadium at war. So these are mine. Sorry. These are mine. So they're coming with me, and I choose this. And they like opened the gate, and they were like, okay, what a wise choice you made. And I said, what are you talking about? They're like, you're about to enter an arena filled with just about everything, just everything. And all you're taking is some wood and crystals and your confidence, and you're swearing that's enough. And I'm like, it's plenty.
It's plenty.
It's plenty. That's it. I walked in, and not one being in this arena wanted anything to do with me. And all I was doing was walking with them. I had one in each hand. I wasn't pointing them. I wasn't going crazy. I think I was drawing energy in one and building it up in the other, to be like, well, if you would like to step over that line, some magic's going to happen. See, I won't say I'm going to murder you and I'm going to attack you and I'll transmute you. Like, I used to do that, but at this point I was like, no more. I'm not here for that, because I could use all the energy I'm building up with this, and I could use it to heal someone. I could heal myself with it. I could help do a bazillion other things, but it's focus, hyper focus. So if you're doing stuff like, all right, Shaman Jimmy once told me that he, under Aya, was shown how we would do surgeries, psychic surgery on people, right? So he said we had crystals, just like, and then we would just push towards the skin, and the skin would just open, and then you would just go in and pull out, and that's it. And then it would close and heal. So I'm like, well, why the crystal? They're like, it's just focus. You could actually use anything. but you guys need the focus up front. And I'm like, well, I'm not sticking my hands in people. I'm not doing any of that stuff. And they were like, oh, yeah, you are. That's like, oh, you've guys done this before. It's already been categorized and cataloged in the human mind. It's been done before. So it's not like it can't be done all the time, which it might be happening all the time, just unaware from the eyes of the public. Magic seems to reveal itself when necessary. Like Aya has been there the whole time, but yet in this last few years, there's been resurgence of ayahuasca, right? All these people that didn't know now know, and we want to go on our mission and our journey. Well, I found that objects like Thor's hammer, we love Thor, right? Thor. All right, so his hammer isn't actually a weapon the way you would think it is. It could be used for building. It's a hammer, right? Okay, so it's there to channel all of his power,
his energy.
So it's all of the energy. It's like too much for Odin's son to handle without the hammer at this time. He's like young still. He's like, I'm 1,500 years old. You're young. Your dad's like 6,000 or something, right? Like, so that's crazy. His father's so old, and he's about to step into those shoes. That he had a firstborn daughter that no one knew about and just ruled all the kingdoms. And then it was so far gone and removed from that. You know, it reminds me too. Hela says in the Thor Ragnarok movie, oh, he didn't tell you about how he got all this gold, did he? Right? And then she breaks the ceiling. And there's what really happened in the original, because they're Anunnaki. Those are Anunnaki kind of characters. So they were evil. They were dark. They would just roll on the 9 realms, and they beat empire after empire into submission until getting so strong, they went into their realm of Asgard and ruled over the 9 realms, then promising to protect, because Odin decides, nah, man, this is too crazy. So he banishes Hela and is like, you got to get out of here, and then has another kid. And he's like, no, this is my firstborn. That's how long it was between that. The people that were living there had no clue that Hela even exists. Nobody knew who she was. Those who heard the stories were like, bro, this is just stories. Remember, the Valkyrie were all dead except for the one. But then now they're back as these heroes. And she's like, do you know how he got all this gold? And it just reminded me during that moment of the stories of how Anunnaki helped create us, and then wanted us to mine that gold for them, and how they have these golden thrones in this golden realm. All right. Anyway, that's just food for thought. I love those movies. Every time we watch one too, we get a deeper gnosis.
Oh yeah, because it's not
an understanding.
It's everything else that's going on everywhere.
Oh yeah. How you doing?
I'm good. I just realized.
I'm sorry for just blasting through like that. It was just a good rant.
No, it's okay.
Healthy rant.
I'm just here in the support role.
Well, then you should be reading. I'm going to teach Paula how to do all this stuff, right? I'm just worried because I know like certain generations of people are like, oh, more buttons to push. It's scary, and it's like, nah, it's right there.
No, well, I'm reading. I'm reading. I smile and laugh and comment when necessary. I just realized that this coffee cup is the same size as my face.
You could dip the microphone in that cup.
No, I know that. I didn't realize how big it looks. Like now, yeah, it's just now I feel awkward drinking out of it. I brought attention to it.
Crazy cat lady.
I broke the other one.
No, I know. That's terrible. So how do you like your new seat? You're trying it out.
I'm trying it out. I don't know. I really think it's the size of the microphone that scares me, because it's just in my face. It's big and it's in my face, and it intimidates me.
So as an MC in a hip hop group, I can for sure tell you that mic skills are very important. How to handle a mic, how to use a mic. See, there's good rappers and there's great talkers and this, that, the other thing.
Skills.
And if you don't know how to walk up to the microphone and be like, hey, what's up, man? Blah, 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 and sound good, you're whack. You're in that category. You have failed this city. So all I'm saying, from one hip hop guy to everybody else.
So I have to get the arrow because I failed
You
this
have
city.
failed this universe. So no. I'm saying you have to learn as part of the process of doing any of this stuff. Mic skill is very important. So if the mic scares you, but see, here's the thing. What did you think of the first microphone? Those are stage mics. That's what you hold on in your hand.
Yeah, I know,
on
but it was
stage.
smaller. This whole contraption, this whole thing is, the whole unit is.
But then
big.
we offered this.
I know, and I had a problem with that too. So
Wow.
well, actually, no, I didn't. But now this is already hooked up over here.
We could switch
So-
seats if you want, if you're uncomfortable.
No, I'm good. I know you like sitting on this side.
I'm
better.
actually out of my comfort zone. They said I shall find success. So here I am, baby. Left side of the chamber tonight.
I don't know. Maybe it's I don't know. Maybe it's because I can't look at you and talk to you.
She wants to just look directly at me, but we can't do the 2 camera thing like that. Because unfortunately, that's not how this rolls.
I don't.
It's
I don't
okay.
know.
Think about it. Breathe a second. While she's
having
doing
the
that,
issues.
if you guys want, go check out IamWeAreFearless.com. It's really important to get the information out there and get you guys dressed in the gear that'll make you fresh. This is IamWeAreFearless.com. We've come together, 5 artists, myself, and the brains behind it, Sergio, to put together some real interesting stuff on this website. So go check it out. There's so much more than what I'm showing you. Click into it. Men's wear, ladies wear, jewelry, boots, sneakers with Ra on them, Kali posters, everything's pretty much. So I have to promote myself, and they're like, you don't promote yourself. This is terrible. Fearless Tribe t-shirts. I got someone looking into making the Fearless Tribe, which is this right here, this little Fearless Tribe, right?
I like that.
Yeah, that's awesome. The symbol of the Fearless family, and then they wanted to make like patches and stuff. They're like, yo, you got to have patches. I go, well, it's not a rock group, but
I really do. I actually have that T-shirt, and it came back from the laundry. I must have had it inside out, so it's inside out, and I have
there's
like
the tribe symbol
10
right
gray
there.
T-shirts, so I can't find it right now.
Everything is gray.
Everything is the same color.
Right. So, and I don't mean to make this the show like this right now, but I do. Because
why? You should be proud of this. You did this.
No, I understand. People don't want the advertisement and everything, but at the same time,
you guys took nothing and you made something.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm grateful for all that. I really am. And it gives the artist a chance because, as we talked about a million times before, is, they get 50% right off the top. A lot of people don't have the time, effort, and energy to be able to put it all together. And we came together and just said, look, let's put it all together and roll it like this. This is what we can do. Mm-hmm. And the artists were like, dude, we got you. Let's go. So you're helping support them. It helps put people in a position where they can do their artwork. Right. So a T-shirt here is them getting the graphics done there, so on and so on. Today's people that we support and promote are the people that are coming out, right? That aren't going to go big corporation and all that. You're just not going to find them there. You're going to find them in the home of.
Yeah. They just want to do some work,
like
do some
consciousness
work and put it
yeah.
out. Yeah.
They don't want the headache and all the other bananas. They're like, oh, we could roll with those prices. That's fantastic. I'm like, yeah. Right.
Totally.
So. I appreciate it, each and every one of you, and I thank all the artists, and I thank Sergio so much. He's the best. So, go to IamWeAreFearless.com and check it out. I have to just home. How to get out of here? I'll be there at 10. All right, we might have a guest on the show a little bit later. It's a little bit of a surprise, but oh, and shout outs to everyone listening, and that's spending their time here tonight.
With us for
thank you so much.
For
I love
taking
you
the
guys.
time to spend it with us.
I did an interview with Will Torbett. I put it up in the Frank Castle interviews on the YouTube page. You guys should be in there checking out all these different things. I have stuff from UFOs and aliens to the interdimensionals to the Terrence McKenna's and specifically to us. We have everything we've ever done ever on here, so you can check out anything we've ever done in the last since Paula and I have met and prior to me. I have an episode with me and Popeye just about the music industry and the.
Oh, that you did that in my house. That interview.
Oh, so see, there you go.
Yeah, I think you did it in my basement. Yeah, it's
so
just
that's,
been such
hundreds of videos. So
yeah, there are, and it's funny because there are people that are listening to like the first video and commenting and contacting Frank.
Yeah, they just
and
listen to
it's
the
weird
first episode and go, yeah.
And then and then we're like, well, what were we talking about back then?
No, I remember. See, that's the thing.
It's evolved. No, but
super evolved. I was thinking about that.
It's evolved since then.
Walking in the house,
same story, but it's evolved.
I'm like, man, all of us here.
I know.
Anyone that's been part of this in any way, shape, or form.
It's been a very weird ride. Very strange ride.
Looking back at this,
I know.
I remember telling Chris Gio, I'm not talking to nobody about this stuff. What are you, crazy? I have a career. I can't do it. And he was like, you have to. And it took him, he literally.
I remember that he was
for a year.
Yeah,
it was a year. Right. And I'm like, and I gained my footing and my position. And then
I remember that.
We couldn't think of a name. I was like, this is ridiculous. I don't know. I just, we're all fearless and stuff. And boom, I had a list, and I had the whole list crossed out, and then I had fearless, and then I had something else. But then this was when Chris changed it to Beyond the Veil. It was right at that same time.
Right.
So I was like, the other one was like too similar to Beyond the Veil. It wasn't Beyond the Veil. It was something else. And I was like,
but I think the other one was also, it was tied to
the band, maybe
the Heist Click.
Yeah, and we didn't want no association, so just Fearless kept flashing.
And then when we put the group together on Facebook, it was the Fear. Remember, we didn't know what we were going to call it, and I was like, well, they're a family because we had already been doing this.
Yeah, we're not playing the game no more. Like, oh, we're trying to get 1 million listeners. We're not playing the game, right? We came in to learn. I didn't build the family. I did it there so I don't have to do it on my page because my family's losing their stuff. They're like, dude, what are you doing? I'm like,
no one knows.
I have almost 3,000 people on there, and I'm like, listen, I don't think it's for most of these people, so I'm going to build the place, and then that's where we're going to do it, right? And then I'm just going to, and I'll make it private, and I won't promote it. I'll just talk about it, and then if you hear about it and want to be part of it, that's cool,
right?
But I'm not going to like post it on Facebook because I added the first 20 people to the group, and like 3 of those people talked to me. And the other ones, I don't know if they're listening or not. And I'm like, I should not be adding people to groups and da-da-da-da. Here's what's going on. And then people started showing up.
Right.
They were answering the question. I heard the show, this, that. And I said, okay. So we went live with meditations. We scienced the entire situation. I talked about, we would finish the show and go live there for another 2 hours. So there's like just information on top of information. So Paula and I have been getting like ridiculous downloads recently, and never seen a woman more amped to do something awesome. Can I just tell them, or do you want to tell them? We're making bread and stuff. Like, I can't believe what's happening.
Yeah, we're making bread. Yeah, I said for Christmas I wanted to start making bread, and we've been making bread. All right.
Thank you, Laureen, so much.
So we've been making bread.
She got a butt. She makes it sound simple. She went nuts, and she was like, yo, we're going to do this. I'm going to do this. This is what I want to do, and it has to be like this, and it has to be like this, and it has to be like this. And I watched it occur. Now, other things are happening around us where I'm watching that occur as well. Everything's taking the chance and just bumping up the notch for sure.
Right. Because we're declaring it more. Like, this is how it's going to be. I said, Frank, I want to make bread. I don't want a bread machine. Don't buy me equipment. If I can't make the dough with my 2 hands and roll it out, I don't want to do it. And then I was telling my sister, and I had to tell her the same thing. Look, Rose, I don't want a bread machine. I don't want a stand mixer. We don't have room. We don't even have a toaster because we literally don't have room.
My mother's like, where's the microwave? I'm like, we don't
have one, here. And we're never getting one. I've never had one.
I'll buy you one. We're like, no.
I've never had one, and there will never be a microwave in this house. And so if I can't knead the dough and make the dough. So I'm just learning. But so I've been making this one bread over and over again, and each time it comes out different, and it comes out really good. So
I don't even know what's going on.
it's
I
just-
know when she's putting her hands in it, it's beginning to work. I'm going to bring this back to what I was just saying in the
Oh,
FearLess
okay,
family.
okay,
No.
okay.
Please continue, because this
No,
is
I'm
what
good.
I want to get you talking so
Oh,
they
yeah,
can
yeah,
hear
yeah.
you.
So then Frank said, why don't we take it a little further? So Angela Miller had stopped by a couple of weeks ago. She's doing her whirlwind tour in the United States, and she came through, and we're hoping to see her again soon. And we were talking, and Frank and I are joking about these one pot meals. So like, Frank's like, Paul, I can't wait till we have a bigger place and we have a better kitchen. I said, why, Frank? The meals are going to taste better? He goes, but you have to cook and prepare everything on a sink. And I'm like, Frank, it's fine. As long as I have one pot and I have room, a little bit of room, I'm okay. And then we were joking about cooking one pot meals. So it's something that Frank and I are going to be looking into, writing down the recipes and stuff. So I had a box cake. And after the new year, I always go through the cabinets and check the expiration dates on everything. So I'm like, we should eat this cake soon. We should make this cake soon. So I said, I want to see if we can do it in a pan. We're talking about one pot meals. Let's see if we could bake this cake in a pan. So Frank, we got this really, it sounds so silly. We got this really great whisk. There's like this 99-cent store in the neighborhood.
It's a really good whisk. Let's just say that.
It's a discount store, and nothing we bought was 99 cents. So that's an illusion. But Frank and I were in there, and it was like we were in like an old people candy store. Right? So he gets this really great whisk, and he whips up this cake batter. It's just a box cake, right? So I pour everything in, and he's whisking it, and this batter gets so light and so fluffy.
I never seen nothing like that.
Yeah,
not quite like that.
We didn't use a hand mixer. He just used a whisk. So now I heat up. It's got to be like a 5-quart pan, maybe a 3 or a 5-quart. It's like kind of like a Dutch oven.
Think if you only had one thing.
So I heat it up on the stove. I oil it, and I take a paper towel. I wipe the oil out. I heat it up on the stove, get it nice and hot, and then we pour the cake mix in. And I rival my mom's. Oh, thank you, Nick. So Frank pours the cake batter into the pan, and then we set it for about 25 minutes, 20 minutes, maybe 25 minutes. I don't remember, to see if it's going to cook, and we cover it. And we're like very curious now.
We're sciencing everything.
We're like,
now.
Don't touch it. We're not going to
putting love in it. That's what I'm doing while I'm whisking. Until I'm moving around. I'm like,
yeah, we're not going to touch it until the timer goes off.
Like, check this out. She's like, damn, I go, I know, right? It's like went from really difficult to super easy. Sorry for the.
Oh, Laureen Jennings, please send me recipes for bread, because I really am just learning, literally like just learning. I mean, I can make pizza and stuff like that, but now even my pizza dough has gotten better, and like I said, if I can't make it with my 2 hands, I don't, like Frank was like, oh, we'll get you this and we'll get you. I'm like, Frank, we really don't. And,
and we have more fun.
We can't. There's no room.
The 2 of us are doing it
together.
Yeah. So when something's a little too much for her,
I'm
way taller. So
dough,
when I roll the dough, it's easy for me, and I have a great time doing it. But I'm in a meditative state, or we're in a conversation. So either way, it's fantastic, right? Because we're not cooking when we're in crappy moods.
Oh, I don't cook anything when I'm in a bad mood. I stop and I put everything away, because I'm not poisoning my own food.
So as you're doing that, I'm like, yeah. We got music on sometimes. Sometimes it's Gordon Ramsay and he's cursing at people, and I'm like, yeah, you should know what you're doing. Look what we're making, right? So it becomes this other thing. And I find that I'm more interested in this. Never been interested in food and anything. I come here and I'm watching her, and I'm like, well, I don't want her to do it alone. I don't need her to cook for me like that, because it feels weird. I want to feel like I want to help.
But it's also fun.
It starts with doing the dishes and stuff. Fun. And then well, I don't know what I'm doing, so it's difficult. Like, I'm just watching you, so I'm just standing here, and then all of a sudden, boom, sous chef time. And it's just, it becomes this really cool little thing. And we like to watch food shows. Anyway, so when Angela was here, you guys were talking about that, right?
Yeah, we
and
were.
Then
we were.
Right prior to Angela being here, I did the interview with Caroline the Divine, right? And the first thing it said to me was, my higher self or whoever, whatever, was ask her how the book's going.
Her book is going.
Yeah, ask her how her book's going. So I asked her that right up front in the video. You guys should watch it. It's a good interview. And then she's like, yeah, I'm kind of stuck. I should just write it. And we realize we're breaking through all this stuff. So now I'm sitting back with Angela, and her and Paula are talking, and I'm listening, and I get my download because I was doing something with Jim. I don't really see Jim anymore, Shaman Jimmy. It's all love. I just don't know what's going on. So we were going to put this thing together, and then it just didn't work out, right? So he had said something that's been ringing in my head forever. It's just since I know him. He's like, man, we put out enough information, right, for 10 ascensions. You don't need to know all this stuff. You need to live a good life and then introduce a breathing technique, a meditation for yourself. Make sure you clean and clear yourself. Maybe something like to say to yourself that makes you feel good in the mirror.
Whatever is going to help you get through your day.
Walking through the dirt in your backyard. Absolutely. I don't know, whatever. Like, it could literally be a lot of things. Anything that derives a focus. So I'm like, yeah, man, this is crazy. I talk about my stuff. I don't really write stuff down, but I had been writing stuff down. So I checked, and I have so much stuff. And I'm like, wow, this is a lot, but it's really not enough to do what I wanted to do. And then I was like, wait a second. And then I went into where we store the stuff that we're going to work on with the Fearless family and all that. And I was like, whoa, wait a second. Everything's here. Everything. Right. All I have to do is categorize it and speak a little bit about certain things, outline it, bullet note it. And I had told you guys in the beginning, I wanted to write a book, the Fearless Handbook. So it's coming out of all of us now, right? Like a handbook that literally bullet notes incident with short story and information we do know that does help from perspective of the Fearless, right? From us. What has worked, what is not. Why this object, why this piece, why this sound, why does it do that? Why is it frequency? Very simple stuff, right? A handbook to help you just accelerate into, the name of the books that we've looked at, that we find the connection through. It's not going to be everyone's books. I didn't read everyone's book. I read like a couple, but others will chime in because I will ask, hey, what did you use? What did you use? You teach, what did you, and kind of put it all in there and then present that to everyone. Because apparently when I was talked to about the UFO stuff, remember, that was like, they don't want me talking at the convention. They're just like, you're just too ha ha blah. But they were like, where's your book? And I'm like, I don't have a book. And they're like, well, you're definitely not going to talk if you don't have a book. Like, you don't get to speak no matter what without your book. We won't even ask you again. So until you have a book, don't even bother. And I was like, I don't want to speak at your stuff. I literally am doing audio of this. This whole thing is an audio book, right?
Right.
Nope. Where's your book? So,
but that's what it is. All this stuff is chronicled, right? So they're all, it's all chronicled.
Sorry, I'm gonna just cut.
So it doesn't matter,
right? Then you got people like Josh and Jody,
who did put out a book.
You the Magician,
and they self-publish.
They not only self-publish. Jody will teach you
how to go through the process.
Yeah, with doing it independently and being able to just put it out. Right. So it's interesting. This book is fantastic. This is great. This is something you read your kid or get your kid to read.
Even yourself,
yourself. It's for adults. Well, I find that when you're reading it to a little person, you get into it naturally because there's not a lot of writing and everything, but it's perfect. It's perfect. I'm not even. So, You the Magician, right? By Josh Carruthers and Jody Carruthers. And you should go check this book out. Just type it in online. Right? You the Magician. So now they came out. This book's been out a while, and now it's getting popular.
Because it took time to build momentum.
It's not really the creative process, even though it is. It's maybe it's 50-50. Even so, it's like you make it, you feel good. Oh, I did my book, and now I move on. Oh, damn, it's not selling. Oh, damn, it's not.
Right, but that happens to a lot of writers. It happened with us with the ayahuasca. Remember when we in the beginning we literally wanted to have like a lemonade stand, like an ayahuasca stand, like just we wanted to give it to the world for free. Like we felt that there were many people that should drink, definitely that they would feel better or have a life-changing experience in their lives. And no one cared and no one wanted it. And we were like, okay, wrong time.
We actually lost people.
Wrong time. Yeah, lost a lot. I mean, I lost, how many, overnight Facebook friends, literally overnight. And, not that I care, but fear, and when it's your time, it's your time,
Philip Johnson, it's not a book on Christian stuff.
No.
At all. We don't
promote
promote any.
No. It's a book on
you being the creator,
you creating for yourself and listening to that voice inside your own head.
Yes. Coming into your power as the creator.
This book was published 5 years ago, because I've been this Thanksgiving I think was 5 years in the apartment. 4 years in the apartment, maybe 4. I don't remember, but it's like 4 or 5 years. 2014, and it's just building up momentum now. So
because that's what I was telling Caroline. My download was showing her book helping people later, right. And she was like, the book came out and it's not really helping no one. Then it just someone reads it and goes, oh, it
exactly
helped.
Doesn't matter.
And then it starts kind of
doesn't matter. So we make this cake in a pan, and Frank is a little skeptical, and I said, it's a cake. If it comes out terrible, we throw it away. And we flipped it out of the pan and we iced it, and it was a delicious cake.
Okay, so check it out. We needed to do in sciencing, we realized that as this cake rose, right, in the pan, because you remember, I got one pan, just a pan. What is that? That's not really like a pan. It's like a pot, right? So I got one pot. How am I going to cook in this? And then we just didn't account for it rising so perfect that it like TP'd up a little. And then we didn't.
It domed up on the top.
We didn't oil that
Grease
piece.
the top of the inside of the pan.
And then, so when we pulled it off, we pulled the top off a little piece. And then, other than that, was it not perfect?
Oh, it was perfect.
Perfect. We were like, oh, wow. So we would have never known that you could make a cake that way, like perfect. And then we learned that you also, on a stove, and it was great. It was fun. It was interesting. And I said to her, well, we can do anything with this now. We could like pull it out, cut it in half. She's like, oh, this is what we're doing. So she had a whole creative thing that was going to happen, that to me, I was like, I'm just referencing the shows we've watched. And I'm like, we actually have a cake now that we could just cut and do all kinds of fancy stuff around. And you got to learn how to do this stuff. Bring the creative process out in you and then share it
with people.
Okay.
He's got a lot of
You're such a good cook.
He's got a lot of friends that don't. You know what? No, I'm gonna have the water. I'm good. Thank you. He's got a lot of friends, and I have a lot of friends that are lazy, that don't really want to cook, or don't have space either, or don't want to have to clean up a lot of stuff. So, cooking something in one pot, like I've given Nick Zervos, he's a FearLess family member. I've given him recipes for simple pasta recipes, everything done in one pan. And then we did it again with a brownie mix. We ate the cake. It took a week to eat the cake. And then the cake was done and we were foraging around. We had gone to Costco, but we don't buy any snacks when we go to Costco because otherwise we have cases of snacks. So I said, well, we have a brownie mix in the cabinet. Do you want to try making a brownie in a pan? And he was like, do you think that's going to be good? And I was like, let's just try it.
Get a magic butter machine and cook wheat brownies all day, all day.
Oh, yeah, definitely. We could have did that too.
All
we had the oil.
day.
So
Sorry about that.
He takes out his whisk that we got at the store. And he whisks this brownie. It's just a box brownie mix. It's nothing fancy. And this whisk is like, this whisked brownie mix is like silk, right?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, honestly, you transformed it. It was like silk. Same thing. I oiled the pan. I oiled the inside of the cover of the pan this time. Yeah.
Into
heat up
every
the pan.
step of this process will give you something so wonderful and beautiful. This includes planting.
Oh, yeah.
Making music, exercising, your thoughts, etc., and so on and so on. Within the detail, sweat the detail a little, right? Oh, this needs a little butter. Make sure you put some butter there. You sure? Well, we could just hurry up and just do it. No.
You did that once, remember? And it wouldn't, whatever we did wouldn't come out. Remember?
I don't know what it was, and I was like, damn, what is going on? Because you're not paying attention.
You're rushing through it.
Mm-hmm.
Then don't do it. Then to say, you know what, I'm going to do another task.
Yes.
You know what I mean? Stop what you're doing and then go do something else.
Stop what you're doing because I'm about to ruin the image and the style that you're used to. Sorry. So I have a question here. Frank, in a previous show, you mentioned that your body was in liquid with a cable attached. Was that the highest level in the machine or were you outside it? I had an OBE. I was in liquid. It was too real. Well, Gary, thank you for the question. I want to answer that because he was getting too far up the chain.
Mm-hmm.
So I awoke multiple times in multiple containers in multiple liquids. Some kind of ambiotic fluid to describe it best. When I wake up in these containers, one time specifically awaking and being outside of the machine. So if that's what you're referring to, being outside. And I asked the being that was there if he was God. And he said to me, no, not God. And I said, oh, you're helping with the program. And I could see my vitals attached to everything. And I said, are we in here for the AI to learn how to defeat it? And are we here because the world's falling apart?
Right.
And he was like, nope. And it was an ET looking being. Then again, through source, here in the machine, I'm assuming, because out there they're like, when you come out of the machine, there's still those layers. It mirrors life up here as well. Wherever you think here is, it's the same thing. That's why it's even in there as an input. But source opened and the same being looked in and gave me a message. And I found that to be incredibly weird. I said, Source, are you not aware of the being sticking its head through a portal higher than you? And said, no, I'm not aware of this really like that. I could see it. Well, I don't know what's going on. Because there's source prime, and then there's the source of whatever.
Because that is inconsequential.
Yeah. There's when I was outside and I asked, are you God? And they were like, no, not God. Come on, what's wrong with you?
It's inconsequential. Two different things.
But
neither care.
In suggestion that, yes, it's all still there in relative hierarchy, the way it would be here in frequency and tone. And then I got out of it more that we're in here, not only to be here to learn, but imagine for a moment that you can just do these things. Say you could wake up and one day you just activate and you're on. But there's a whole society of beings out there and we're all living together just like we are now. But then you can throw like a little hissy fit or something and it could get someone killed because of the power that you're using and the output that's happening. So we learn here from the beginning. So these are things that they say outside of the machine completely, being outside of this matrix altogether, where you're plugged into that pod and you're just, boom, you're out. I stepped up out of the liquid and I was like, I can't breathe. I could breathe. I was doing that. I could breathe. I can't breathe. I can breathe fine. I can't breathe. I'm okay. I've also woken up in the coffins with like the Anubis characters looking over us saying it's okay, it's okay. I've woken up into other pods where there were direct things attached to me. And then from there, we were projecting into other places. So apparently, to go from one spot to another at times, you would jump. You would connect yourself in here, go into that simulation, I guess, and create yourself come in through the birth of that thing. And then that character moves on and goes on to another. But there's a prime one that you do wake up in, and I've been in that one. So to answer your question, yes, I did mention it, and yes, it is there. And yes, if you're doing it, don't be afraid. Nothing can hurt you, and everything is liquid. We're scuba diving in this place. We're wearing oxygen. Like, you need to breathe to be here. So you have a suit that you're wearing, and it has a built-in scuba suit thing to it.
So that's why you struggle to breathe, because it doesn't feel natural to you.
Because it's not. We don't breathe. We're creators. You don't need none of that stuff. So we're wearing the uniform. Oh, that was good. That was really good. Highly attracted to you right now.
Thank you.
Yes, that's all there. So if okay, here's another thing. So hyperspace, right? Where you jump out of your body and you see apparition like stuff, and they're moving and floating and flying around. Do you think they're flying, or do you think they're moving through a hyperliquid, a fluid with no resistance of any kind, which is why everything's liquid? So that's why they look at me funny when I'm in space going with the air and this and that. They're like, you see how fast you just move from here to there? They're like, what do you think that is? There's no restriction to anything. I go with, it feels like I'm skating. You guys are dancing. How the hell are you dancing? And they're like, it's liquid.
You're fluid.
They're like, why do you think we show up like that?
Right.
We're swimming in thought and consciousness in an open space, provided that we can come into and
with no
create and stuff
with no restriction.
Everybody's always looking for that silver bullet answer, and the answer is it's all of it.
Right. And then you remember that you're in a human body, and that's where the resistance comes in.
Resistance. Here we go. This is exactly what I was talking about tonight. Getting out of your own way, right? A lot of people can't get out of your own way. It's okay, our emotional, I did this tonight because I exploded earlier. I exploded like I haven't in a long time. I literally looked like a dude that should have been in the loony bin throwing a baby fit. Terrible. It's the first one I've had in a while, but as you could see in Paula's face, it was no bueno across the board.
I just let it happen.
Okay, so getting out of our own way. The input output that creates something that can cause you to snap. Input output. What is it? Well, you're doing that and this happened and this. What's going on right there? There's an input output thing that all of a sudden triggers you to react a certain way. Why? What is that? How do we stop that functioning from happening? Because you can't just stop sometimes, because people get to a breaking point.
You just have to be aware of it when it's happening and say, they got me again.
Yes.
And then just do not engage.
Do not engage.
Frank engaged. Frank engaged. And you know what? I didn't. Usually I come out and I engaged Frank, and I was like, you know what? He can have this one all to himself. And by the time...
Oh, I was shaking.
It was over.
I was shaking.
It happened.
So it's okay, but this input-output thing, the resistance starts there. You get this welling of something. I'm triggered, right? Like something's coming up a pipe, and then the pipe either gets really small and tight, and it starts squirting out. Look what you're making me do, right? Like, what is that? What is that, right? So we're learning to pull that back. So there is no breaking point. There is no snapping.
Nope.
There is no way that the external can get me to go unless I'm ready to go. My choice, right? That I got to make a move. Not that you did something so horrendous that I want to choke you.
No, this was...
But I can't, because that's not how we roll, and I snapped. So the input output.
Right. And it, it's funny because it was something simple. It was something we do every day. We feed cats. And it's snowing here. It's been snowing since early this
I will
afternoon.
tell them the story. You were not here.
I'm setting it up. It's been snowing since this afternoon. And we have about 90 cats in the apartment because we had to pull the mama cat who lives in the house outside, inside. So we have her in the bedroom. We have the resident outside cat, number 3. She's here.
She just hangs.
somewhere.
She's like, this is my
So
people.
we have every
All right,
cat
so
in the neighborhood here.
it's a fluctuation of
It's a full house.
yeah,
Okay.
and wet cat flying through the window into the cats. Every cat that's here was eating right into the plate of the food, the big giant
All the food dishes.
blah blah. It was like an
Like
explosion.
a bowling
It
alley.
was like someone took a dump right there, right, and then was like, no, now I'm gonna run from you because I'm a little scumbag. That was okay. Anyway, I snapped.
Mhm.
I didn't do anything but yell and pace.
Right.
And clean.
Mhm.
Right. And I thought to myself, I've been cleaning an hour and this is what happened.
Mhm.
And then how could you do this to me? And then I'll tell you, I snapped and just started cursing and yelling because when I hit that point, it's like, better. It's a cat. It's accidents happen. I've cleaned up everything that you could imagine that comes out of these cats on this floor. And I've learned it's not an issue unless you make it an issue.
Unless you make it an issue.
Okay. So I made it into an issue.
Mhm.
And it exploded into me just, oh boy. There's a scene in Happy Gilmore where he's cursing on TV, right? On live TV.
Mhm.
And he's like, why won't you go in your home? Go to your home. He starts,
You
and then the guy just shakes his head like, nah, man, that's not acceptable at all. That was me tonight. Now, I've watched the whole process. I watched the squeeze off into that tube, and then the shaking and the.
It was like an episode of Law and Order. I thought so. I didn't know what was going to happen,
Right.
and then he see now my trigger. So now Frankie is just screaming. The poor people upstairs. They really think. The people that live upstairs really think that when Frank yells, he's yelling at me, but he's yelling at the universe. That's
I'll
what he
go,
says
I'm not talking to you,
I'm
Paula.
not talking to you. But he's using the C word. But he's using it to the universe. But the neighbors don't understand that he's mad at the universe and he's not mad at Paula. So they're thinking, oh my God, this little girl that lives downstairs, this poor little girl. So now he's screaming. You would think that there was going to be like.
I looked up what it meant because we know what it means, but it said a good friend.
Child abuse.
And I said, I'm using that word as much as I can.
It sounded like.
My good.
The police were going to
friend.
come because he was going to be abusing a child, and then now meanwhile the cat is sitting outside playing in snow, and he tells me just go inside and go to sleep. You're not going to do this show any like just rambling. This just meanness coming out of his, and I said, look, I have no place. I have no place in his rant. So whatever he says, I have to realize that it has nothing to do with me. And I had to listen to some heinous stuff.
Now, granted, you guys will pay comedians like Andrew Dice Clay
Right.
$40 up front
Yeah, but
to come and hear him talk like
me,
that.
I get no money. Nothing. So
all right, my point is this. So she's like, look, I'm not getting involved. So because
Right.
there's nothing to do with me. So let me just mind like
Right.
it's not even like I'm backing down or I'm doing it. No, it's just this has nothing to do with me.
Do not engage.
And then I went off into the corner and was just shaking and like looking at the screen, right? But the little me inside was watching the whole thing happen. And I could see, just like you would step on a gas pedal, the charge would work up, and then it would squirt something this way, and then things would start spinning. I'm like, okay, how do we stop that from completely happening? They're like, okay, takes a lot of practice,
Takes a
but
lot.
realize you haven't done that in a long time.
Right. You haven't had a meltdown like that.
Right. So I know every one of you do it, so don't say anything. And the ones that don't watch those. Those are the ones you watch. Right. Because the ones that don't.
No, when I am.
No, you did it right after me. You started yelling at Oscar.
But they were doing
crazy.
the same thing.
I know, right?
Because it has nothing to do with you. If they want to play outside, that we're thinking
drag shit through the house.
We're thinking we're protecting them because it's snowing. Okay, so
and they're like,
we're stupid. We're the ones that have the problem. They have fur. They're playing out in the snow. They're running back and forth. You have to see them running back and forth. And I swear I hear yippee every time.
Yippee, yay!
And then yay! They just running back and forth playing in the snow. And we have towels and those, what do you call those? Those chucks. The wee pads. So, when they come in, they don't have mud. Then there's one cat, he burrowed a hole underneath the box spring in the mattress. So he went in there wet. And I'm like, oh my God, this damp cat in the box spring in the mattress. And, I try my best, but there's sometimes I just, I just want to go to a hotel sometimes and just go there by myself.
Wendy, you're absolutely right.
It's just horrible. It's just hard. It's just life. It's just, it's not always pleasant.
But at the same time, remember where we are and what we're doing. It's not that crazy if this actually happens. Yeah, I spent an hour cleaning. Yes, he jumped into everyone's food dish. It exploded. I was like,
and you know what?
But did it? Doesn't really matter. I've thrown up all over the place. Literally I'm going to talk about this.
In the past
yesterday, I just walked up into the bathroom. I was like, oh, I think I'm going to be nauseous, and I made it to the door, and it just went in, and then was all over me, and I'm going, what just happened? And then done. I had to get up, clean myself, shower. I was like, what is happening to my world? How could this be happening? Every day, something different. They said this would be an emotional roller coaster. All right, let's get back to the point. This would be an emotional roller coaster through this, right? So let's say I've been harboring something inside, and you're on the new energies are coming in through all the different things.
It's got to go.
And then it hits you.
It's got to go. There's no room for
and
that.
I'm standing over here just talking stupid stuff. And then boom.
What did we get hit with? We got hit with a full moon.
Full moon lunar eclipse. And then it was 70 degrees out here.
Oh, yeah.
And now it's snowing.
It's snowing, and
for like 3 days, you would have thought summer was coming.
Yeah.
There's plants coming up outside.
Buds. Oh, the tree, everything.
The insects started coming back.
Yeah,
there was a mosquito in here. I was like, whoa, how did you make it?
It was so
What are you wearing, armor? It was just really weird.
Yeah, and now it's snowing. Meanwhile, we're
and it's not like snowing. It's snowing. We're like, holy crap. So now
Frank is shoveling because we have a cat house outside.
The sun is so bright. It's almost impossible to look at.
It is just, it is just.
And I've been staring right into this while this is happening every day, going clean me, clear me. That's why I haven't gone live much. I don't have the energy to do it.
No.
It's like we have to come together and do something collectively to do it.
You and Angela Miller wanted to do something.
Well, that's who was hitting me up.
All week you tried to get together and do something, but it didn't. It didn't work out.
Yeah. Well,
you've never seen snow, Michael Martin? No, that's terrible. That's terrible. You probably live somewhere warm. Yeah, I'd rather be somewhere warm.
Yes, the neutrality makes sense. To be able to step in and still be upset. Like I've asked Shiva and those guys, you know, Hanuman, the big monkey man guy, God, lowercase g.
And again, Frank,
you guys still get upset here?
Frank shook it off because
and they're like,
something like that
every day.
Look, in the beginning, something like that would have ruined him. The other day, and again, this is who we are. This is what we talk about. The other day, we're sitting here. I said to Frank, "Do you smell poop?" I think he says, "Yeah, I think I do smell poop." So we checked everywhere.
And then
no poop nowhere.
And then sat down,
And
smelled
I'm
it
like,
again.
Frank, I'm smelling poop. Now we're checking the couch. We have a flashlight. We're underneath the couch. We're moving furniture. Frank goes back to his desk and he sits down. And there's a little tiny piece of poop right by his foot, right here in the corner on the floor. Why? I have no idea. One of the cats was very sick. He had a bad cold. He was blowing bubbles out of his nose.
One of the cats threw up, and as she threw up,
she pooped.
And then I wasn't mad. I just cleaned that up. But the other thing, I found it was right at my foot. I almost stepped in it, and I was like, "Oh my god!"
Now we're like, "Oh my god!" Now
we've turned into these people who yelling,
"What's
happening to our lives?" Oh my god!
And I'm like, "Come on, Frank, we're too young for this." Like,
Are we old now? Is this? And then it's like, no, you're responsible adults. Just clean it up, and it's okay. We were laughing and grossed out, and just.
But come on, really? Like, this is my biggest problem. I'm good. If this is my biggest problem,
you're okay.
I'm good. You know what I mean? It was a lot different a couple of years ago.
Yeah. So, Laureen, we know your story. Like when we heard it the other day, and I was like, wow. My mother went through the exact same thing with her mother, and then my grandmother recently passed. So for like a year, maybe more, it was like this intense struggle where we watched a woman go through dementia.
No, it was the better part of a year. It wasn't a year.
And then
it wasn't a full year. Yeah, we watched the struggle.
She had dementia, then didn't eat, and she was going to die. And then my mother's taking care of her the whole time, doing all. I mean, it's crazy.
Four times.
My grandmother, it turns out she doesn't have dementia, and her body purges 500 years of chemicals she's been putting in her body, but she don't never do no drugs from that era. And then she wakes up and snaps out of it, and then still has to be taken care of. So and then completely just shuts down. And my mother was taking care of her every step of the way with help, a little bit of help.
From us, but I mean, we can only do what we can do. But
right, all this crazy stuff
was on her.
And everyone said all these things. You know, these situations are difficult, and then the little shining light, grandma, after she passes, starts showing up everywhere.
Right.
We're like, whoa.
The thing is, you have to keep all of the outside influence. You have to keep that at bay, and you have to forge on and do what you have to do and do what you know is the right thing to do, regardless of what anybody says. Because if they're not the ones taking care of her, they have no say in how she's taken care of.
Yeah, for sure.
Because where were you before?
Everyone's just trying to output in the right thing. And why did she say that? Why did that happen? And why did this happen? Hey, look, we could dig into this all day. And people are just in fear and having a problem.
Because your energy is high. So once the energy and the frequency changes around her, she will continue to get stronger, because we believe that we're doing that for our landlady is 99 years old. And we think we extended her life because we had to raise the energy, and she loves that energy now. I mean, she's
kinder for sure,
much kinder, much softer than she was before. I mean, I remember the first time I moved
she would
in,
never let us really help.
I walked on the grass, and she yelled at me for walking on the grass.
Just help her with everything.
But now she's lighter because the energy is lighter. So I mean, I know it's all going to work out. It's going to work out the way it's supposed to work out, whatever that means. But I believe that your energy will be enough to get that going.
Working your consciousness through this experience of ascension is just like taking care of someone who's like really ill and sick, and then you show them love, and then they get better, or they get into a position that's way better than what it was.
Of course.
It's the same exact thing. So it's hard, it's grueling, it's upsetting, it's rough, and then it starts working.
What happens to that plant in the corner of your patio or your deck? Or
I almost murdered some plants the other day.
Your kitchen that you forget about, the one that you don't give love. It just dies. You know, you give it a little bit of love. Like I like to say, I rescue my plants from Home Depot, but you know, you just give it a little bit of love and it'll thrive. That's all you have to do.
We saved a couple of cats here, and then people were like right away, oh, the eyes got to go, and that one's not going to make it. And Paula's like, listen, you know, if you can squirt or shoot some antibiotics into this thing right now, other than that, just get out of the way.
Yeah, Yeah.
Just get out of the way. And I've watched them.
I didn't ask.
Maintain
give
eyesight.
Me 30 reasons why we should kill this cat. Give me 30 reasons why we should
come back from.
No, I didn't ask you that.
From like eyeballs popping out like this, skinny with just poop all over me. Like, this thing is just muff. Boom, you get a little bear.
Just love.
Right, it's a new way of doing things, and not just being like.
It's taking all that background noise and taking everyone else's opinion and putting it in a place, putting it where it goes. It goes in the background because basically it's you. You're making the decision. You're living the life. You're the one taking the action. Okay? If you're not writing a check to help me live my life, then you have no opinion in how I do so. So you have to keep everyone has to do this. Keep everyone's opinion out of it. You know, like even what we said about the cooking in one pot. There's going to be 30 or 40 people that tell us why we can't cook a meal in one pot. Meanwhile, I've been doing it my whole life. So, and in fact, in my past life regressions, I was actually literally cooking in a black cauldron over an open fire in one pot. But there'll be 30 or 40 people that'll give me, 30 or 40 reasons why I can't cook in one pot. Because, when you invite people into your life, you allow them an opinion. And everyone is allowed an opinion. But I don't have to listen to it. And I don't have to take it if I don't want to. Thank you for your opinion. Thank you for your comment. Thank you for your concern. But it has to stay there. It has to stay at arm's length because ultimately I have to make the decision that's going to rule my life, not your life. I'm not living in your life. I'm living in my life. I'm the star in my life. Whether it's a shit show or I'm a princess, I'm the star.
Whatever it is,
you know what I mean?
Matter.
And it's like, look, this is the way it's going to be. I make a bad decision. I don't make a bad decision again. That bad decision again. I'll make another bad decision and then I'll learn from that and then I won't make that decision again. Do you know what I mean? But that's all we can do until we get to a place where we're not faced with these bad decisions anymore because that's what happens. Remember, me working through saying no for years working through saying no. Now I'm in a position where I'm not.
So many people can't say no.
I'm not put in a scenario where I have to say no. Because that's the beauty of it. You line up with what you really want in your life.
Well, the universe will send 50,000 things at you to teach you how to say no.
Right.
And if you don't say no and you're not feeling the groove to
go. Giving it to you over and over again. And you know what? I think I mastered it because I am not in a position where I have to say no that often. And it's a wonderful thing.
Thank you. No, thank you.
Yeah. But that takes practice and that takes time. And unfortunately, it takes a lot of tears and a lot of heartache and a lot of bad mistakes, but eventually you get there. I'm not saying like tomorrow I'm not going to be placed in a situation where I'm going to be at a crossroads and I may have to say no, but at least I'll be better prepared for it when it happens and it won't be a surprise and it won't hurt my heart so much. And I won't be, stricken with the guilt and the worry and the fear that I was before because that's not what I'm calling into my life. Really, you do have control over the life that you want. You can't control the things that happen in your life, but when they happen to you, you can control your response to what happens.
You could even get your insides working in coordination with you so you're not like this.
Right.
Like ready to snap. No. To where you'll get that energy comes up and you'll understand and you'll go, okay. But if it's not time for action right at that moment, you shouldn't be outbursting perhaps, right? Because it could be, how many of us have been in that situation? Why am I always the bad guy? Because all these stupid little things happen. Remove yourself from the interactions and stop thinking that same road is going to get you a different result. Try science it, try something new and observe instead of react. I understand there's reaction, of course, but we need to hold it down, because they could show you a flash, an image to you on Facebook of whatever and get you riled up.
Oh yeah, happened to me.
Right?
I had to stay off Facebook for 3 days.
So yeah,
3 days.
so check this out.
Something I didn't like, and I couldn't unsee it.
They in Virginia, they're having this gun confiscation issue, and I don't want to get into this. All I know is that government should just go every time when you're like, well, the government should. No, it should not. It should never. And you should mind your own business, government. But from an outside perspective, what's happening, I'm watching the governor declare all kinds. We're coming to get you. We're going to do this. We're bringing in this. We're bringing in that. And then he called state of emergency so you can have your guns taken, except in Virginia that doesn't apply at all. So now they're trying to set up a boxed in zone for you to protest, and they want to put all the guys with the guns that show up to protest. And then they're saying state of emergency, they might try to come in here and remove us from power. And I'm like, oh, they're baiting you to come out here and do this. Right. And they have an entire area set up to just close in on you immediately. Right. And they're like, come down to the protest, whatever. And then in the background, the guy's going, oh, no, state of emergency. They're going to come in here and try to remove us from power, bring in all these devices and things. Watch what happens. Keep your eye on the weird stuff. Don't listen too much to what they're saying. Listen to everything they're saying. If you're going to get involved a little bit, like mentally, build your own thought pattern. But when you watch from back here as the observer, you realize there's different plays taking place. There's a bait and switch. Yeah, come and attack me so we have a reason to go house to house and get you. We'll just come and get you, right? You let them throw the first stone, right? And you have a revolution. Big difference, right? Right? So beware of the setup from the police and the crowd or whoever to try to activate some kind of negative vibe there, right? Or anywhere. Right? Like a fake protester, right? That throws a brick or gets you to throw the brick. Paul, you're going to let him say that, Paul? Come on, throw that brick. And it's like, no. Don't throw nothing. That's not how we do this.
Just wait.
Just hold on. You got to stand your ground. But you don't have to engage. Just yet. Just hang on. Because that little... I could have reached out and choked a couple of fools in my lifetime. And if I actually would have did it, I think I would have killed them for real. And those moments, I was like, whoa. And I realized that from not holding back on other moments and actually doing damage to either myself or someone else or property or some kind of craziness. We have to learn to dial that back 1,000%. Like just dial it all the way back. Whoop. And then explain to yourself step by step. How does this happen? I get the welling from my belly, right? Or even lower. And it angers me in the deepest pit of my, All right. And I'm saying this because you could read like some crazy thing about Tom Hanks is a pedophile or something, right? And then you get so angry, you punch the screen on your computer and ruin the $3,000 computer. Like you got to dial it back. Right. You can't be just setting off. You don't know who wrote that. You don't know what kind of picture that is. You don't know who's in focus of what's going on. You don't know the full details. You're not a war captain. You don't know how to command and input. And if you do, you shouldn't be telling the public anything but what you know so you can help direct proper flow instead of going, well, you're all dummies or something. No.
But you're right. Like one of the chat room folks, like you can't take back those actions. You're right. So sometimes you just have to hold on. And not respond, not react. My initial reaction this evening was to come to the rescue mode of the cats because I always defend and I get between them, and it just incites Frank even more because now no one's on his side. No one understands how he felt at that moment. It's not about the thing that happened. It's about how he felt during the time the thing was happening. So now if I go and run and immediately take the defensive and say, look, I don't care what you did. You're screaming. You're already wrong. He knows he's already wrong because he's screaming. And he knows he's already wrong because he raised his voice. And he knows he's already wrong because he threw something. It doesn't make anyone feel better. Like what were we joking? You don't tell a fat kid not to eat a piece of cake because you don't. It's rude. You don't. And you don't tell people things they already know about themselves. And I think a lot of people sometimes just want you to listen to them. They don't even want you to take a side, but they definitely at that moment don't want you to tell them that they're wrong, or that their actions aren't appropriate, or that they're not doing the right thing, because they already know that. But that has to come out. They have to let it out. Once it's out, it can be addressed. But at the moment when it has to come out, you have to give that person a moment to let it come out. It's unpleasant. I didn't like it. I don't want to hear it. I don't want you to yell at my babies. They're cats. They don't speak English. They don't understand. Okay? That little one, he's a dummy. Okay? They're all little dummies. They're all bad. They're all dummies. We love them, though. That's the way it is.
I love them.
Do you know what I mean? You don't even understand the footprints. You have no idea. But it's the way it is, you know. And I understand why people want to kill their children. I'm like, I do. I understand. I don't really. I'm joking.
You better qualify that statement, young lady.
I'm joking, but I understand why people get so frustrated with their children, because it's like, why did you do that? Like, we have one. Why did you do? One cat. She came in the other night. She had a dead mouse. She came. I understand. She was trying to bring me a treat. I understand. She wanted to say thank you, but it did. Frank was sleeping.
Eat my mouse.
I had to be brave, because usually I fly on the furniture. The mouse. I took a wad of paper. There must have been like 11 paper towels in this wad, and I threw the paper towels and the mouse out the window. And I never do that.
I remember when Blinky tried to bring the giant bird in, and it just smacked the window, and I was like, "Is that another cat?"
No, it was a giant bird with wings.
A giant dead bird.
And we're like, thank you, but no thank you. You know, like they don't understand. They don't understand.
No, they're just like, look what I got for you.
And it's it's all right. It is what it is. I feel like we always smell poop too. I don't even know. I'm not.
Yeah,
even
after
sure.
a while, you're like, it's like after you throw up, and you don't want to smell it, right? You don't want it to come out of you, but you're like, do I smell? I gotta brush my teeth. I gotta wash my face. Let me. And then you do all that, and then you're like, do I still smell it? Do I think I still smell it?
I don't even know. So
that's how it was with that.
Frank went out to get a few things before the show started. So I said, Frank, can you please bring me home a snack, like some sort of sweet treat, something. So he said, okay, no problem. So he comes in, and there's a tin of Danish butter cookies, and I got really excited. And then we opened it, and we were having the Danish butter cookies with the coffee before the show, and we just looked at each other, and we said, he says they didn't have anything else in the store but Danish butter cookies. They didn't have anything, because usually bring me a cupcake or bring me something sweet, some chocolate. Like Nick brought me that those M&M chocolates that time, and so usually brings me something sweet. So we're eating the cookies and drinking coffee, and I said, I guess we reached that age where the tin of Danish butter cookies looks like the best thing in the world, and this is where we are. It's just the way it is. It's just so strange. You know, so strange. These little things are happening, and it's so strange.
So naturally, we use cats and references, but all that we are, because that's what we are. But all these little things are happening that are moving us with momentum now. Key is momentum into a beautiful new place. However, passing through the hoops, the portals, the dimensions, the energies, the frequencies, the vibrations, whatever you want to call it, has not been easy.
No, I have my sleep pattern, and you know what's funny, because we listened to that video on YouTube, and I forget which lady she is, but she said your sleep patterns are going to be off. You're going to be eating different foods at different times, and I've been doing that. I mean, the other morning we were both up at 4:30 in the morning. Frank didn't go to sleep until like 2 in the afternoon the next day, and then I've been sleeping, and then I haven't been sleeping, and then sleeping. It is just this whole week, especially. It was just so strange. Like sleep is off, eating is off, wanting food, not wanting food,
emotional outbursts and output.
Watching TV and crying. being very emotional, and issues that we thought were resolved months and years ago keep coming up, but I think it's a different perspective. Very strange, very strange. Uh, Everyone around us too, like even your mom was going through it. Your mom was going through it at the same time we were going through it.
We're all beginning to walk through that. And I don't know. I have moments, and I'm going to just say it on air, but they come and go. They go away eventually because it's a moment in time. But I'm talking about extreme hatred, and I can't quite put my finger on it. Extreme frustration.
Yeah, a lot of extremes.
Where I'm like,
a lot of extremes.
So then if you were to talk to me during those times, I'm like, yo, I'm dying here, bro. I'm depressed. You'd think I'm losing my...
But even on the other end, like we went through extreme love and extreme laughter, it just flips, extreme happiness, and then extreme, and then it went right through the cycle again. Mm-hmm. You know, and it's weird. It's like, why?
Ever since, all right, so.
But I think it was a lot of, I think there was a lot of residual energy from closing out the year.
Yeah,
and
for
then
sure. And then the structure being removed.
Yeah, I think so.
The old ways, we're in the middle of the Kali Yuga, the apocalypse. This is it right here. You're in it now. And you're in it, like, right here.
The transition from
we talked about
year closing.
We talked about yeah, for sure. But the crescendo of the ending of the old. Remember, we talked about this early in the first year of the first set of shows. When the volcanoes start going off, follow the volcanoes.
Oh yeah, you said that. You said that was one of your indicators.
That's your indicator that it's getting closer and closer, and now they're just popping off, right? So it is. Look, I was shown that on the Aya. I don't look up that information. I don't listen to anybody else's info and then go, yeah, that's what. I'll cross-reference everything all day because I'm getting my internal info. So I just put it right out as soon as I get it, and there you go. Like indicators showing you that one time is ending and the new time is here. So what's the shaking and everything? Well, she's going to kill all of us and shake us. No, she's not. If you're doing the work, you know that you're in a specific location to help build a grid. You become the rainbow bridge to the higher, and I'm using metaphors, to the higher, I'll go this way, to the higher realm. And we're like cranking ourselves up into that. Okay. We're getting, because they can't really lower themselves. We have to go in there, but we're also spinning and going in, but we're not being, we're not like smashing into it. It's being, everything is done at a pace, at a pace, right? Because you'll pop if it's not done properly. Like there's this galactic timing that you would call divine timing, even that puts you in these places and positions within the universe on the.
Oh, I agree.
On that universal, inside of that universal space.
Yep.
Right on time where you're supposed to be, in the spot that you're supposed to be right on that moment. It's always been that way. It's always going to be that way. Right. And it's like, oh, wow. Like all of this is happening. Okay. So then that old doors close and this new thing starts, but there's that overlap of, like I was saying, the demonic, they don't want to go. The lizard, the dark ones, they don't want to go. I don't even like calling them dark. The negative energies and stuff, they don't want to leave, so they thrash out as hard as they can.
Well, no, because they're getting a steady diet of fear and insecurity,
and as we do stuff like, oh, we're going to war, you're feeding them,
right,
because you're not going to war.
Yeah,
you have to be like, nah, without going and turning a blind eye to what those guys are actually doing. Are they actually going to war or not? You can't trust the papers. You can't trust. You can trust your internal functions because it's all you. If you want that information, you can just go get it. This is how we get our information. Paula wouldn't know certain things are even happening if I didn't mention them.
No,
because she just don't
want to know.
I'm not giving you.
Nope.
I'm not giving that to you.
I am not making it a consciousness.
Like, yeah, I'm sitting in my house and they're going, and the TV's blasting because of Grandpa. And and they're watching the news and they're like talking about war, and my mother's sitting there biting her nails. And I'm like, shut this off. because she starts going, oh, what do you think about this? You know, and I'm like, no,
we're not discussing it.
And then I just said, instead of, they know,
right.
They know,
Right.
but they're deliberately
We're not
getting
gonna
involved.
discuss it.
So I said, you know what, Ma, I love you. That's it. She goes, I love you too. And she knew that I knew that you knew.
Yeah,
So I just left it alone.
And she knew, and she didn't engage because she usually does. Well, Frank, just because you love me doesn't mean we're not going to war. But she knew, and she didn't engage. So she's learning also.
So just a quick note, if you guys could like, subscribe, share the video of tonight's show, let people know we're here. YouTube's kind of got us at a blockade now.
Yeah,
the numbers
weird.
aren't matching and nothing's working the way it should. So if you do, though, click like, you subscribe and share, you show them that this is what you want, and it starts showing up in your recommended videos and stuff. It's that algorithm, and I've been learning what it's about, but I feel like I'm just learning about deception that's going to be used against me, and then boom, they use it against me, and then I got to learn about the new one, then the new one comes, and then
right.
You see, I got to keep reading the fine print, It's driving me nuts. So just hook a brother up. Okay, we'll ask Paula this question. Paula, what did you think of Ricky Gervais's Golden Globe speech?
I liked the speech. I thought he was very candid and very frank. It did, however, have to be loaded into a teleprompter. So I believe that the network did know what he was going to say. So I don't know. I did like what he said.
I loved what he said. Now, however, can I throw a curveball?
Yeah, go ahead.
So those that are part of these rituals, right?
They didn't even
Hold on, that are part of these rituals. Part of the ritual to get you into the mindset of whatever, they have to tell you everything that's going on, everything they're doing. They have to put it in signs, symbols, conversations, movies, entertainment of any kind. Your school, they subtly drop it here, they put it there. Now we're seeing it just come out of every direction. So it's either Gervais is one of the good guys, and that was great. I loved it, every second of it, and that was from the heart from him, and he did the best he could with the knowledge that he could get away and read this on the teleprompter, or it's a complete bullshit scenario with him doing that.
I don't know.
They always do that with that Whore of Babylon thing. They bring her out and they do all kinds of, they say negative things. She's this, she's that. They run her through the muck. You just check out any one of the girls that have ever been in that line of being that, and then they drag you through, and then you're in and you're famous. It's kind of like when they make the guys wear dresses in movies.
Mm-hmm.
Like, oh, we'll give you $3 million a movie if you wear this dress. And it's like, wait, what? You know, and how many guys backed out of that? We hear a lot of black actors that are like, no,
I won't do it.
I'm not doing it. You guys are trying to do something deceitful. Now, the thing is, when you do that, you're showing the world mixed with how they're presenting the signs and symbols and where it's written in. That's why it's always subtle, and it's everything, because they're doing rituals of all kinds in there. Now, I can see it from both sides, right? Like, well, everyone thinks everyone's a pedophile, so every time I say this or that, we're going to shine it on the people that, but what's really happening is they're getting shamed, and then we notice that nobody does nothing in the past, right? Mm-hmm. We've seen this before. We've seen people talk about Hillary Clinton and her kill list. She's still kind of marching around out there. We could talk about clones all day. Is that the clone? Is that this? Really? Or are they doing rituals that are, it's black magic used that puts them in a position where you cannot come and get them? That's why nobody tries. There's a lot of people that aren't scared, that would just do whatever they felt like doing. They don't. Now, is this the breaking down of the wall? I have to believe in better and say, yeah, they're onto them, and we're shining the light right on those cockroaches. So I want to show the twist, though, because it was allowed to go. Is NBC going good guy? Is it that whoever's running the teleprompter was this something practiced beforehand? And then, this is going to be kind of crazy, you know, like, who knows? Like, we really don't know. I mean, how would you set it up? I'm not creatively smart enough, but yet we see it in movies like The Matrix and like they slip everything in all the time. Like, there's always something there, right? So they could be doing this from a different perspective that we don't know, or it's coming through. Here comes the light. So I want you to use your discernment when thinking about these things and really putting it to the test and being like, well, they're being allowed to show this. Why? Right? And don't just put all your hope in a queue. You know, I know people want to and stuff. Use discernment on everything. Don't take my word for it. Definitely don't listen to her. Right? She's my ethereal translator. I'm just kidding. Definitely listen to her, and she can ethereal translate for all of us. No, but really discern it, because if you don't, you know, you can wind up screaming about. See, that's another thing. We all bark on things on Facebook, and nobody's an expert on any of these things, right? I really hope, though, Gervais was like, dude, we're doing this, and then did it.
I hope so too, but I don't think it was. I don't think it.
That gives him the Big Balls Award.
It does, but I don't know if it was that freeform. Yeah, I don't know.
They're the trickster archetypes, but they're also modern day philosophers, right? So we have to remember that as well. It always comes through them first, through beings like that first. Hey, buddy.
Hi, boo boo.
Don't step on the. Don't step on that. See, I love them, but today I got them all up to here. What's this? Free Energy Mobile, sending you love.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Positive vibes. And a little bit of kitty cat love, too, because they need to send out some love. We're all doing our awesomeness here. It got you thinking with the Gervais thing, right?
Yeah, totally.
Right? Like, it might not be. I don't know. So I'd love to say yay, and it was a great moment. And Paula will tell you, I talk about this all the time. I'm gonna have the popcorn ready when it hits the fan. When those moments go, I love it. I'm watching it going, yeah, say it, do it. All right. So Will Turbet, he does that. He runs up on the politicians and stuff, and watching his videos, some people are like, I don't know, man, that's a little rough. You get right in his face. I'm like, well, that guy got in trouble, literally went to court, got locked up, and then got out, and he's a politician for child raping a kid or something, and he's confronting them. So I'm going, give that guy donations, give him more ability to do that. Bring more of those guys out here. We need to hold your feet to the fire. Why are you making all this money? Why are you doing all these things? All right, we'll cut through everything else. Like the whole political structure needs to go. And how do you eat away with that? You run up on them and you tell them shame. We know you're pediddling, or we know you're stealing, or we know you're. If it's a known thing, you're allowed to speak your mind. You're always allowed to talk. There was some new law that was passed that you're allowed to secretly record politicians in public. You're allowed to have a little mic on you and everything and be recording them as long as you're standing out in the public. So if you confront them outside and you're like, hey, you see them in the diner, to remember after Mark Gojanji, whatever his name is, they can't hear you. He showed up in the in the
diner.
They still can't hear you.
Yes, in the diner. Yes.
And he shook my hand. I had to ayahuasca.
I remember that.
Shake that off.
I know.
That's terrible.
It is terrible.
My brother's friend, Rob Jufrey, who's no longer with us, he was in the political environment and he left. He said, it's all money. I can't get a damn thing done. This isn't worth it. Depressed, committed suicide. Interesting case right there. Grew up with this kid. So, when these are all the tickers that it's beginning to flow, when the internet becomes full, right? It's funny. It's like one day there's a distraction, and then the next minute in the distraction is everyone yelling. It's a distraction.
Right.
We need more of that to point it out, to let you know they're making you look left instead of looking right. Right. So here's the thing. Who remembers the guy that was talking about the different cards that are being played against humanity, and that the final card would be the alien invasion card? All of the things leading up to this was, I believe Iran was last on the list. And then
Right.
he said at that point, people will be like, done. Like, we're fed up now. And then they drop the alien card because that's the last one. There's nothing after that. There's nothing in their mapped out thing that they can do except extend and not give you full disclosure, just partial, and feed it. But over the course of 20, 50 years, you're getting it all. Or in 10 years, you're getting all of it, or a lot of it. See, this is kind of what we're talking about, optimum timelines. Being pulled into where the equipment, the medical equipment, will be awesome new stuff. The cars, that the way we travel, free energy, like we're pulling ourselves into that. We have to pull ourselves into that timeline where it's like the short burst with everything, because that's the optimum timeline. It's our birthright. It's like they've been using it around us the whole time, but then we get nothing from it. Nick McDaniel, thank you so much. I love you, my brother. Thank you so much for that. Powerful energies tonight. I wanted to really quick talk about, we had Angela Miller here. What was it? Last Friday.
Yeah.
That's why I didn't go live on Saturday, and Paula was raring to go. She came home. She's like, you ready to go? And I was sitting on the couch like, I can't move. I can't do anything. Angela's a shaman who is on a little bit of a mission. She's out
like
there,
a pilgrimage.
Like a pilgrimage. She's out there doing it, man. And she went from London. She came over here to the U.S. She's been to Canada. She just came back from Mexico. And she's like bringing that cord in, and like you're sewing.
Sure. Yeah.
The new energies, just sewing it in, and traveling everywhere, getting this done. Well, she came here, and I'll discuss what we all did when we have her.
Yeah, when we have her.
But wow, having the three of us together, the energy output was just it's still like resonating so strong.
Oh yeah, definitely. Her energy knocked me out.
And then, well, it wasn't just her, it was like the whole thing coming together. And then I was like, wow. I was cool with it for the first day, right?
Yeah.
We were like, yeah, this is great. And then the moon did its thing. That little timer went off. And then it was like a sheet came over me while I was trying to, and let's go through the mud again, right? And I'm like, wow, this is crazy. And then during this time, it's almost like every symptom you could imagine. This isn't against Angela, because I talked to Angela. We were going through similar things. It's like purging, heavy emotional outputs, a lot of, not being able to get up off the couch because it's just the energies are just too strong. I don't know what to do. And then you do know what to do, and you're so excited and you're ready to go. And then you're just like, I can't do anything again. So it's like these, the heartbeat's kind of ding, right? And so we're just consistently trying to take it up that level. And then we hit that ceiling. We got to get used to that energy. And as we start getting used to it, we dip into it, dip out of it, dip into it, dip out of it. It's the highs and lows, the highs and lows, the highs. It's what makes the idea of balance even matter. Having that sign, it's literally a sign. You all right?
Yeah. Yeah.
So it hit right after that, and now I feel like it's an upgrade, though. So I'm trying not to look at it, even though I snapped today. I think that had to do with like 50 other things.
Oh, I'm sure. Well, they were saying the Schumann resonance is by the resonance. That's what you said the other day, right? It was. And
the guy we were talking about was Werner von Braun. Thank you so much, Timberwolf. Yeah. And see, I can't even think some days. I'm like, I should know that, but it just completely blows my mind. stuff like, you know, when you're coming in and out of the room, you can't remember.
You walk back in.
And you got to walk back. We've done that a bunch of times. I'll go, and I'll just walk out and do it again. But then it's more than that, though, because we've all done that. Think of that jacked up to 10. Like last night, I was boiling the water to get moisture in the air in this house, right? And then I started getting a little sleepy, and I'm going, oh, I'm going to forget that. And you're going to get up and find it just on hissing. I was like, I can't do that. So I immediately just went and said, all right, let me just shut this off. As soon as I sit down, I can't sit if I'm going to have this on, because I'm realizing that there's other things occurring, and I'll be into something for 10 minutes and can't remember the next thing to do.
Yeah, exactly.
Right. And I can't move on to the next thing. So like, I don't know. We've been doing an interesting thing here with humor. It's a little, I wouldn't say it's dark humor, but sometimes it is, right? But sometimes it's just saying the dirty thing, right? It's not really harmful in any way. It's just, if you could imagine someone saying something like that, right? And we would just do it and laugh about it and kind of like let it just fly out. Paula has a few interesting ones that'll make you laugh so hard, but you'll be at the same time like, whoa, what's going on over here? But you got to keep that. I think that's part of it. The humor, keep the light. That's definitely what it feels like we're doing that. But it honestly, it changes the mood. You know me, I'll say it and just look at you and just start laughing, and you'll be like, well, you used up your last one for today. You know, sometimes you just got to let it out. It's important.
Frank likes the specialty words. So he's allowed a certain amount of specialty words every day. And once they're used up, that's it. There's no more.
Oh, man. So keep in mind that during this time also, all the darkness rises. Your darkest of dark is still your darkest of dark. You realize that they want to come too, right? Because it's
but they can't.
You're not allowed to come. Yeah, the frequency is not optimal for you, right? But at the same time, it's still part of you. It's pieces of you. It's a shard, a fragment. You are the all. So you can offer the choice. You can be like, that is me. All of these things, all of these beings, this is all me. It's in my realm of awareness. The choice could be given. So they have the choice. You can choose to come, or you can choose not to. It's not going to be a war with you and I. No more war. You're either going to come with me, because they never had the option to come, right? Because you hear that? Mm-hmm. I'll get this one. Right? You're getting the option to do it because you're me, because you're loved, and there's a lot more going on than even you realize, right? Because down deep with the guys that have do the most fear stuff. Who?
Was that Sugar Pie Mama?
No, I don't know.
Okay.
Well, actually, I don't know. I thought that was Shui. I don't remember what I was saying.
I'm sorry. I just
you son of a.
I'm sorry.
So, Lexi Blue, I love you very much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
And yes, I am covered in cat hair from the waist down.
I get those things from the.
Oh, from the the lint rollers. We use several. We have several.
Yes. Okay, so I do remember what I was saying now. So your demons get the choice. You can bring it all together, or you can transmute what you got to transmute and move on. But you can, in the fear mode, they're afraid. They're afraid to be alone. When you're in a bad mood or in a I'm broke, right? So then you hang out with all these people and we're all like, oh, we're broke, can't do nothing. So there's like a coming together in that misery. Hey, there's like a crab in the buckets where everyone is like, yeah, me too, and it's like it's okay to hang out within that, and it's not okay anymore. They say misery loves company, right? I'm tired of being miserable, and I'm tired of hanging around bad company and people wanting to not see me prosper, and because I want to see you prosper. So getting out of your own way and allowing this to occur by offering the choice. If they choose no and they choose to do something negatively to you or whatever, you're in your every right to do what you need to do. But still remember, it's still you. It's a part of you you're going to go transmute.
Right.
Or you're going to try to transmute. I don't really fully know how all of this works 100%. I don't think I ever will. But I do know what I do know. And I know you could throw a smack. If you are offering them and they keep attacking, you can say, look, man, this is what it is. I've had to jump on some of them and just turn into light and go, you're coming with me. I gave you the choice and you're opting to do this, but now I'm doing this, right? So you want to attack? I'll just blanket you and wrap you in light. Let's go. And that's it. Because it's all me. I want my all back. Even the dark, if I say this the wrong way, everyone's going to go, he's doing demon stuff. So they all have gnosis and knowledge that is important, right? If you're using discernment, they can't string you along for it because you're the source of the whole thing, right? So when these things are presented, which you really, I'm not getting such loud ringing in my ears right now. You get the moment, right, to face this, right? Like I had to face down the AI and it was attacking me. It was literally getting rid of everything around me, parts of me. It was taking them and deleting them. And I'm like telling the demon, dude, we got to do this right now. I'm giving you the choice. If you help me, we're getting out of here together. And he was like, I'm going to choose to help you because I want to punch you in your face every day. Like I want to see you every day to punch you in your face. I don't want him to delete us. Then we can't fight. I'm like, right. This is what I'm saying. We'll get our business together over there. Then when you get over here, they don't want to fight no more. They turn a different color shade of white light thing, and then they start doing their thing, giving them the opportunity to move on. Like they say, NPCs will have the ability, the opportunity to do exactly what we're doing. Exact same thing. Okay? They have electricity running through them. They're wearing a human suit. Yeah, they're programmed, but some of them are going to break free of the programming. Remember in Tron, some of them start breaking free of the program, then some violet flame just opens up, and then beings are walking out that are half from they're like the new being in the area, but they could go in and out of the machine. So just remember, all this is you, and we got to drop the fear card. We're like, blip, no more. So I'm not afraid of you. What are you? What is this? Are you me? I think you're me. I'm having the opportunity to work within me because it's all in me. If it's external, it comes running in the room. You have a big problem, you know? It's another thing. When shamans come together, we kind of eradicated the issues and just blew out the energy. That's what I feel like we did. We it made the car tire filled with too much air, right? I gotta take some of the air out of this because I'm gonna float away.
Right.
I don't feel like I'm grounding in. All right. With that being said, I'm going to have Angela Miller on as a guest real soon. She didn't get a chance, I guess, to get on with us tonight. So we'll bring her on Fearless Conversations, and we're going to discuss what we did and everything. All the writing is from last week. I don't have anything from this week. Okay. So I want to, and I want to thank each and every one of you. I love you very much, and it's a hard process. It's not easy, but it's beautiful as it expands, right? And as we get better at this, it will get easier. It does get easier. And if you go easier. It does. Moment by moment, and take each emotional little outburst thing that's coming from the inside out, just take one at a time and just go, why are you doing that? Okay, this is why I'm doing this. Okay, we're not going to do that no more this way. This doesn't work for me no more.
Right.
right? And it'll well up again. It'll be like, no, you don't understand. It'll be like, no, you don't understand, because basically you're just ego. We're going to shrink you down to a size where I could hear a whisper, but you can't do anything other than that. So I will be aware of you. I will take into consideration what you're saying, for sure, right?
Right.
But at the same time, thank you, no thank you. Silence, so I can think. I can't think with you screaming in my head, right? And with that, everyone, love you so much. Paula, Milo, the greatness, the numero uno. I've seen the version of Paula where she's a comedian. She smokes cigarettes and she talks filthy dirty. She's very, very, very funny. So keep an eye out for that. If you're dimensional traveling, go to that version of her and be like, hey, what's up, lady? And watch how she responds. Love you guys so much. Stay fearless, everyone. And remember, the universe rewards bravery. Oh, yeah. Look, you got in on that one. I love that. Yeah.